Hey, welcome to this week's Technology Thursday. I'm Precision Ag Manager Jeff Buick, coming from the grain tank of a combine. And before you hit the field this season, I want to talk over a few items that I want you to check to help increase yield accuracy. So a couple things we want to look at first is if we take this incline auger and drop it down, we'll be able to look inside and take a look at the yield impact plate. I'll show you in a minute here what we want to check for to make sure it's free of debris and not full of holes to help ensure yield accuracy. All right, so once you're looking inside your clean grain elevator where that meets up with your incline auger and your grain tank, you're going to be looking at this impact plate right here, this white poly pad. And some common wear spots in there is where the holes are for the rivets that hold this in place. So you can see them right here. So we want to make sure that we don't have any holes through this plate. It's nice and smooth. It's not super wavy. If you're seeing anything like that, that could throw off the readings that you get for your yield monitor system. Another spot that we want to take a look at as we move around on the system here is along the backside edge of this impact plate. And this area back in here can really fill up with some dust and debris, especially if there's holes in it. It's always good prior to season to make sure this is all cleaned out and that it's free to move behind there, because as the grain flows in through the system, it's going to hit that impact plate, and that needs to have range of motion to move back and forth. So another item that can affect yield accuracy is the moisture sensor here that comes off the clean grain elevator as well. This is the in-grain tank model. So just want to talk over a few items here, such as the motor. I notice on this one here it's the smaller motor, which was one of the original versions of this that John Deere come out with. They now put a larger motor on this unit. So if you see a smaller one down here, you want to talk to the dealership about maybe putting a larger one on. It's real easy to change these out. There's just two bolts up here on top and then one down underneath. You pop that out, this whole thing comes out. So you can take the unit into your dealership to get rebuilt, or you can buy a reman through our parts department. So that's one thing to check. Just take a look at that motor size there. When you turn the key on your combine, just to the accessory position or to the on position, you'll hear the moisture sensor cycle the plunger. So it'll come down and then go back up. You'll hear that motor spinning. If you don't hear that when you do that, then there's probably something wrong with the unit, either potentially with the motor or the guts that sit underneath this access panel right here, such as a motherboard or a relay. Another item that we want to take a look at with the moisture sensor is the plunger found at the top, and that allows grain to come in, but also creates a nice seal for when it pushes it out back into the incline auger. So show you a picture of what that looks like. So here we are looking inside the incline auger coming up from the clean grain elevator, and we can see the plunger inside of this, or at the top of the moisture sensor here. This is a replaceable part as well. We just want to make sure that we have a nice clean seal all the way through. Right here we're on an S-Series combine. Want to make sure that your impact plate is clean just the same up in the grain tank as what I just showed you. It's going to look a little bit different in an S-Series combine. You won't have a big poly plate, but you still want to make sure it's clear of debris and not showing, don't have any mouse damage there associated with it. On the moisture sensors on these combines, they're side mount, like I said. Pull these pins at the bottom if you didn't do so before last fall. This auger will pull right out, and just make sure that we don't have any encrusted grain in this cartridge. Also, if you're dealing with cameras with auto maintain on these combines, just make sure you unclip them here and make sure that the lens for this camera is clear and free of debris. On 8 or 10 series side mount moisture sensors, you'll want to take a look at the wires coming into the back side here. If you reach around on the other side, you can take the plugs off, spray a little electrical contact cleaner in there and make sure they're making good connection. And then this plate right here just pops off with a few tabs all the way around. And when you pull that out, then you can have access to the moisture sensor plate that's right behind here. That whole piece will come out so that you make sure it's free of debris, and check the paddles down here on the motor. So that concludes just a few quick things to take a look over on your yield monitoring system on your combines before you guys head to the field this fall. I'm Precision Ag Manager Jeff Buick with C&B, committed to being your dealer of choice.